I know it's been a pretty crazy week. Well, not even week, 2 days.
Yeah.
But welcome everybody that is watching. We are on our All Girls Alliance podcast. The normal people that run this stream are not here, so we are going to do our best. And I apologize ahead of time. But if something goes wrong, it's my fault. I'll just claim lay now. But as you can see, I'm in my lovely beach attire for this beach casino theme. I'm not entirely sure what the theme is now, but I had this outfit planned in my head, and I'm going to stick with it.
I just made pina coladas for this event.
Yeah. I'm dedicated to my craft, as we all are. And
I have my snacks because I'm all about being prepared.
Yes.
Taking my snacks to the beach.
You guys just want to do introductions before we get into everything?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. I'm Gia, and you can see my little Twitter at the bottom here. And I am very excited to get our midweek update started.
And I'm Jen. This is my Twitter here as well. I'm excited to dive into this. I think this has been the craziest first week in a long time.
2 days.
2 days, yeah. It felt like a week.
Right, we're saying week, but it's really just like it's been 2 days. Like not even a full 2 days. We're all tired.
Literally been 24 hours, 25 hours if we want to get technical. I'm Tracy. There's my Twitter down there, Queen Makeda. It has been crazy. I watched the first episode, the premiere, season premiere, and I watched a couple of hours of live feeds yesterday, and then I haven't watched any all day, but my notifications on my phone have been going off. And so I was just kind of catching up, but yeah, lots to talk about in 25 hours.
Do we want to go just start with first impressions? Like who's surprised us, who we think is doing well, who's disappointed us, and who's being exactly how we thought it was going to be. And then we can go into kind of the episode itself and what we've seen from this week.
Okay.
All right. So personally, I am so pumped for all the members of the Cookout Alliance. Absolutely love all of them. Azah is everything I expected to be and more. Tiffany, I really wanted Tiffany to be a star, and she is, and I'm so excited, and I hope she goes very far. Xavier, perfect. Derek F, also perfect. So 10s across the board. I'm a huge fan. I don't know if that's where we want to start, but that's where I'm going with it.
Obviously, Xavier's living up to my expectations, even more so. I really like him. Derek F keeps pleasantly surprising me. Like, I thought he was going to be good, but I didn't think he was going to be this good. Same as Tiffany. Like, I was hopeful for them, but both of them have kind of overcome what you initially expected them, especially with Tiffany being the oldest person. She fits right in with all of them. And as a queen, love her. Kylan, great. I actually was pleasantly surprised by Sarah and Brutini because I thought both of them are going to annoy me. But so far, I've been liking them. They seem to be doing pretty good.
I am also a fan of the Cookout. We love the Cookout. And of course, in my draft, I have Tiffany and I have Claire. Don't hate. And so I'm hoping that they go all the way to the end, not just so I can say I have a win, but it would be nice. But I'm really loving those two. I really love how Tiffany has kind of called them all together, sometimes in like one or two of them, or sometimes with four of them, and said, hey, look, we don't have to have this conversation, but I got your back. I'm hoping that I have your back. I'm hoping that you have mine. We're going to support one another, that sort of thing. And so that needed to be said because she's of a different generation. So maybe the younger generation needed it spelled out for them. And I really am liking her. I'm liking Derek even more. Derek F. Frazier. Yes, Smoking Derek Frazier. I'm going to give him that name. His dad can have Smoking Joe. Really liking him. I'm really liking Azza. I mean, it might be just because she's Cameroonian and I know my family background is from there. So I might be a little bit biased, but who cares?
No, she's hard not to like. She's great.
She's just beautiful. Like my niece yesterday, who's 6, was like, I asked her who her favorite. She said, the Queen.
We all
Right
knew.
there.
We all knew.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh, I was like, who's the Queen with the red dress? The Queen. And so I'm loving her. Xavier is just oh my God.
He is so hot.
Yes.
Just everything about him just like makes him hotter.
I know.
I'm really enjoying his commitment to the cookout and just kind of seeing the cohesion between the 4 of them in particular, but we'll get into the nominations soon. But once the nominations were announced, they were immediately trying to comfort Kyland. And we also saw something similar I think it was yesterday, with them talking with Hannah as well. So I'm very excited to see where they go. In my perfect world, they all at least make jury. And I would love to see that actually still happen. But this has been a very messy week. And we'll get into that in a sec. Was there any other first impressions we wanted to get over? I'm not talking about my draft because I'm upset right now with my draft. I guess I'm having Ty as my first pick in Canada was the highlight of my draft career. So that is we're not talking about my draft anymore. I'm invested in everyone else's draft. So best of luck to all of you with that.
I'm invested in my draft for Xavier because I think he actually is going to go pretty far just because he seems like he's got a good grasp in the game. He's likable. He's kind of quietly confident, so it draws people to him without being like the abrasive alpha male you expect. He's the kind of person you want on your side as a leader, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm really excited about Xavier. I was afraid that he would come in. I'm a lawyer. No, I'm just a nice, bartender. What would you like to drink? I'm just being friendly with everyone, nice, just chatting up everybody, that sort of thing. But behind the scenes, he is very clearly a
huge fan.
Team Cookout supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at all surprised, and I know it's kind of the elephant in the room. I'm not at all surprised about a Frenchie. He's giving exactly what he's been giving for the last 2 years on Twitter. So there it is. So moving on. Redacted, yes, if you will.
Redacted, yeah. We'll get into, I do want to save some time to talk about just this HOH in general, but let's get into the episode that we saw. We've only seen one so far. I'm very excited by what we saw. I'm personally not a fan of the immediate HOH competitions where they divide everyone up into 4s. I liked seeing them rushing to just go pick beds is my preference and get kind of a lay of the land, give us a chance to really see the house instead of them rushing in and out. So I am upset that was how they started Big Brother 23 in the same way that they started Big Brother 22. But the cast intros were great, got me very excited about this cast. I am very excited about Claire. That's someone else that I should have mentioned. As the didn't know a ton about her in the same way until she was announced and people were talking about how she was a super fan, founder of Survivor Michigan. So very excited about Claire and Hannah as well. But we got to see a little more of Claire this premiere because she won one of the parts of the HOH competition. So any thoughts on the first episode?
I agree with you. I'm not a fan of the HOH right out the box because what it does is it doesn't allow people to really be who they are because there's the pressure of impressing the HOH. So they immediately fall into this role that they may or may not be able to carry out from the beginning of the season to the end. And so you don't really know who's genuine. And so you're going to immediately make alliances with people who aren't being their genuine selves. And yes, it is a game and they're playing a game, but are they going to be able to play that role for 100 days? And so I'm with you. I think they should let them choose their beds so they can make genuine missteps instead of the HOH coming up with some pie in the sky reason why they're going to nominate them day 2. And so I think I'm with you. I really agree on no HOHs.
Yeah.
I also didn't like the way they had like 4 playing at once. And then those 4 would be able to be up there on the, on the walkway talking with one another during that time. And it's almost like, come on, kind of, flush out the competitions ahead of time. You're like, okay, so what's really going to happen if they do this, this, and this?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't a fan of that. And,
yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I do really like that second tier they now have to the backyard as an aesthetic purpose. I personally love it. But Jen, what were you thinking about first HOH competition?
I personally love the cheesy pop the champagne. They sit down and they talk about each other and you get to see their first impressions. Mm-hmm. So for me, when you go right into a competitive environment, you get the adrenaline rushing. So you're not really thinking your first thought is get to know someone. Your first thought is either I have to throw this or I have to win this. So,
yeah. And I was so distraught by this immediate HOH competition disgrace that I forgot that the reason they're doing this is because they're dividing them into teams for the first 4 weeks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but first 4 weeks they're going to be in teams of 4. Yeah, and then one team is safe every week.
It's kind of like BB11 with the clicks in that sense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not a fan of the team element, though. It does kind of force some interesting alliances. It has the potential to do that at least, which is kind of what happened with BB11 as well. So it could lead to some interesting dynamics, but the idea that 4 people are safe every week, or depending on how many people are left in the teams, like 3 to 4 people are safe every week is just kind of like, I don't know. It seems like too many for too long.
Right.
Yeah, especially for 4 weeks. So the first week or 2, it's okay. But by the time it's 4 weeks in, that doesn't leave very many people to nominate. It's going to become like Cody trying to nominate half the house.
Right. Well, and if you really think about it, the producers, whoever the showrunner is, whoever comes up with these ideas for how to run the game, that was almost a simplistic way to avoid we'll just call it what it is, to avoid a white alliance from getting together and targeting the people of color, or the Black people, or the women. Because
and the nerds.
Yeah. And so that was a very simplistic way of doing that, because what they don't realize is it's still going to happen if the person that wins the HOH is that person. They can say it's not going to happen, but it's still going to happen. Because you don't have enough fail safes in that to stop that from happening. And then also I really I think the entire team being safe is too many people being safe. I think it should have just been like, maybe within that team they pick 1 or 2 people, add a little more drama to it all. Like if I'm on the winning team, I get to pick 1 other person that's safe, and then 2 other people from my team can be put on the block, just to add a little more drama to it. That way,
I like that.
Yeah.
Whoever is won is not just like, okay, I'm gonna pander and I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna not put whatever up. No, you're gonna have to choose. You're gonna have to pick someone. If they're gonna do an HOH set early, make them pick someone that they want to be safe.
And
it's kind of like a safety suite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now on top of the 4 people being safe, there's also the wild card competition. And now the winner of the wild card also gets to pick someone. So that's 6 right there. Plus we could have someone else with the POV.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that could be 7 out of 16 people potentially safe.
And if the POV winner is not one of the nominees and then pulls someone off, you have that's half the
That's
house right
8.
there. That can't be none.
And
No,
if we
it's more
think
because I forgot the HOH. Oh wait, no, the HOH
No,
is
they're part of the
board.
4, yeah. But that's still,
Yeah.
yeah, potentially 8 people
Yeah.
safe.
and if we think
It's
about
a survivor.
exactly, and if the diversity is right exactly at 50%,
Mhm.
now you've upped the chances of someone that is a minority being put on the block. So
Well, that's what happened this week.
Or we could get one of the queer women on the block too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have some. What do you guys think of the representation we've seen so far? So now that we're talking about that, we have 4 confirmed LGBTQ plus individuals. We have a a variety of players based on like their ethnic background and race. Personally, I think we should have a little more Asian and Latinx representation.
Yeah.
I think would be good. I would really like there to be more of an age diversity in the cast as well. We went over this a little bit in our intro in the first podcast we did for the summer where we did our drafts, but it's an okay start, but I think we could still do better.
And we have Brutini as neurodivergent, so that's another person that we don't really see usually on television.
I think that and I can't, it's not very often
size diversity.
it happens that that there's an Asian American and a Latinx who is almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Because there was that joke, or the guy that said, I don't want anyone that's excessively black. So imagine if someone is excessively Asian American, they don't really, it's almost like, it's just like if you think of someone like Casey, who was white and Filipino, she didn't really talk about that very much. And then you get Bella, and she didn't really talk about that very much.
Or
June. No, June talked about it. She
a little bit, yeah.
But I just think about how it's unfortunately, if you think about race, if you believe in race, and obviously race is a social construct, but people do have experiences based on their race, period. And so if you think about race as a social construct, Latinx people are either white or they're black, and they can move about in the world depending on their family's years in the United States. And so they can move about in the world as white. Asian Americans can move about as if they choose to, they're seen as a model minority. Sometimes they can throw off that label, sometimes they can embrace it. And so that's, if they would bring someone on that was very in tune, then that would be, and that can happen. All you have to do is ask the questions in the interview, and that's where I think they dropped the ball. They don't want someone like that. And by the way, this is not wine. This is cranberry juice. Sorry, I'm not a drinker.
It's all good.
I love the glass though. We still have the aesthetic going. We all got our nice glasses and nice drinks. And also, I think it would lead to some very interesting conversations in the house in the future. I would love to see some more non-binary or gender non-conforming folks on there as well. Like, we could go on and on about the different types of diversity that we would love to see in this show, because I feel like the limits with Big Brother are fairly endless, because you're in a house. The conditions are fairly stable compared to a show like Survivor, where you're out in the elements for the majority of the game. And the competitions in Big Brother usually range in carnival style games. So it's not like you have to be of a particular size or physical capabilities to play all of these games. So I feel like if any of these shows could have all this different types of representation, it's Big Brother.
Yeah, why have we never had a woman with a hijab on the show? Because at least like Survivor, you have swimming and stuff, so it makes a little bit more of an obstacle. But Big Brother, there isn't really any competitions that is going to be an issue to have a woman with a hijab on the show, and she just dresses a little more conservatively, which is fine in all the competitions they do.
I would love to see. Yeah, there's this is the show where they could really expand on their possibilities. And while I'm very happy with the cast that we have right now so far, like it's been, like we've been saying, it's been 2 days, so let's see what my judgments are like down the road. But so far, I really like this cast. I'm really liking the different personalities that we're seeing. But I feel like they really did like 50% of racial diversity, and like that was the max that they were allowed, that they wanted to do, and they didn't leave room for all these other areas that we could make room for, or all these other different types of diversity that we've been talking about in here. The fact that we still have, like, I believe Tiffany's the oldest individual in the house, and she's 40, which is, first of all, Tiffany looks fantastic no matter what age she's at.
She looks like she's 30 to me. So.
But also, like, 40's not old. And we've had people much older on the show before, and you could definitely have people much older on the show before. So the fact that 40 is where we're capping the age gap in these shows, particularly for women, is like, come on, guys, we could do way better than this.
And I understand that they want a little more drama. They want the hookups, that sort of thing. But most of the people that are going to watch all of the time are people that are watching, that have been watching for years. Like myself. We're in the upper 40 age range. So we don't really want to see just a bunch of wannabe influencers who have washboard abs or that have just graduated from the University of Texas or Texas A&M. I mean, the world is so incredibly, and I say that being from Texas, and the world is so diverse. And it was almost like you have to look really, really hard to find those people that are very mainstream and social media influencers. You have to look harder to find them than to find everyone else. We're out there, we're applying. You don't even need to recruit. Why do you even need to recruit?
And for the age diversity, do they forget Jerry and Rennie were Capital Television? Like,
yes. Oh my God.
Like, and Jerry was in his 70s or something on the show.
Right?
I don't think he had an issue with any of the competitions. He was just there for entertainment.
And
it's definitely something that they've done before and can be done. And I agree that, like I watched this show with my dad, who was, I was very young when the first few seasons come up, but he remembers when Chilltown was in there on season 2, like as it was airing, like those are the ways that one of the ways that we bond together is kind of like talking about old school Big Brother versus like the Big Brother that we have now. And while I'm so excited that we can finally watch a season where we can root for multiple Black people, or just people of color in general, it's sad that we don't have all this other diversity in there too, because at its best, Big Brother is a clash of personalities and different lifestyles.
I mean, if you really want to get, I think the first 10 seasons was so true to the social experiment aspect of it. And now it's really not. It's almost like, okay, so what's the narrative? Why was I recruited? Okay, I'm the blonde girl from Texas. I'm the surfer guy from Florida. And they find these guys and these girls, or these men and these women, who are just, they fit in this little box, and they're going to give you the same thing from season to season. It's almost like, okay, so we have Christian, he's our Tyler. We have I can't think of anybody else right off the top of my head. We have Alyssa, and she's giving me Angela Rummins or
Mhm.
who was it last?
Annalise.
Annalise. But she's
Yeah.
She's a little bit more than them. She has more personality and a little more fire to her.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing a ton of Alyssa right now, but if she survives this week, I would love to see more of her.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely. The typecasting is definitely also an issue as well, because yeah, you have your Christian, who's your Tyler, your Travis, who's your other Tyler,
Right.
Yeah. Just
Well,
in case Tyler
And you
doesn't
have
work out, you got a backup.
Sarah to be your quirky, nerdy girl, like Nicole
Yeah.
A, Nicole
Right.
F, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's tiresome and it's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can do better.
Yeah.
Like once we have not had a Derek Frazier
Mhm.
ever in the show. Like the
Frazier's going to give us everything we
Yes.
want.
We are well fed on those feeds. Like in the dynamics between just from what we've seen, Derek F and Tiffany, like fire right there. I could just watch a sitcom on those two right now. I don't
that's
need the
what I've
other
been
four-
doing.
I don't need the other.
That's why I'm still not caught
I
up
don't
on
need
the
the
food because I just
yes.
keep watching them. I was like, maybe I should go to another camera. Maybe not.
They could be talking about paint drying. I'm watching it. Like I'm already a fan. But we've never had a contestant like him, not just with his personality, but just like he like what he was saying, he's a big black gay man, and he has this very, he has this presence about him, this like commanding stage presence with every feed that
he oozes charisma. Like you can't help but be drawn to him.
And he went to military school. So at the same time, I'm sure when he needs to get it together, he will get it together to perform too. I'm just, I love him. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Do we want to get into everything? Do we have anything else about the episode in particular before we get into just
I think the feeds we should probably get into because there's just so much going on there.
Yes.
Okay, so
mess.
We started the mess of this week. We started with Frenchie being HOH and saying that he wanted to do things differently and did not want to nominate a woman or a person of color. And somewhere in between there, Christian won the what's their competition called?
Wild card or something.
Christian won the wild card competition and saved Xavier, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but that shouldn't have messed up his plans like too badly because Xavier didn't seem like, well, Christian might have gone on the block. Xavier was never going to be a target anyway. And then
Tyler 2.0, just put him up.
I'm just happy Xavier was saved. So even though he wasn't going up, I'm still happy he's saved.
And then fast forward to today, about, what was it, 2 or 3 hours ago? Alyssa and Kyland are now our nominees with a possibility to backdoor Derek X, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but those are all people that Frenchie swore he was not going to nominate this week. So
women and the people of color.
So let's discuss everything. I don't even know where to start. So maybe one of you would like to pick a place to start.
Well, I'll start and then I'll let you hop in, Jen. All right. So we have Derek who goes on. He says, he starts talking about Jack and Jackson, about how they were, douchebags and the bullying and things like that happened on Big Brother 21. And he doesn't want to continue that sort of thing. So he's not going to nominate any women or black people or people of color. He actually just said POCs, but there is a difference between a black person and a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
We chose our color. Well, we were given our color, and then anyway. So he said, "I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be different." And he also mentioned, I don't know if you guys caught this or not. He also mentioned that he didn't like the bro types, the frat boy types, because they were always bullies and that sort of thing, and they always got the girl. And then he turns around after he says that. Someone goes, I can't remember, but somebody goes back and tells the bros, I've already started calling them that, Travis and Christian, goes back and tells the bros, hey, this is what he said. And then they give him a little bit of attention. It was one of them. Which one was it?
I think it was Travis.
Okay, who has the cornrows, by the way, which is no.
Christian.
Oh, that's Christian.
Okay, so he goes back and he tells Travis. He does talk to Travis. He does not talk to Christian. And just on the power of the 30-second conversation that Travis gives him, all of a sudden he's not putting them up. Now they're his bros. I mean, it makes you wonder, is that all you just really wanted? You were just saying that to get their attention so they would welcome you into the cool guys club so that you, I mean, really. Go ahead, carry on. You were about to say.
That is fully what I was thinking, is he desperately wants to be accepted by the cool crowd. So as soon as they gave him a little bit of attention, he was all for it, because it's what he's dreamed of his whole life. And I think that's partially why he was against Alyssa too, because she's really pretty and the other guys like her. So we kind of got the Caleb and Brandon Hance vibes going on.
Caleb, Amber B, that whole thing.
Now, Alyssa is not my particularly favorite contestant, not just because I just don't know much about her compared to what the other contestants are giving me. But
well, that's why I said she's like Angela Romans, just because she seems very reserved and very.
But if she goes home week 1 because she may get into a showmance with Christian, was like, I will be so. I don't want Kylan to go. Like, I'd prefer, if Alyssa's got to go, Alyssa's got to go. But but the reasoning for her going is total bullshit. I don't understand why he is saying this and thinking that it's a good idea with this fake wokeness that he was talking about. He was like, oh, well, he can't nominate Christian, but he can nominate the people that he originally said that he was going to nominate. He still had options in there, and he's not even considering them now. And I'm not like I already kind of had a feeling that this was performative activism anyway, but to go from that to what he's doing now so quickly is baffling to me.
I am just shocked he kind of made it through the psych stats for the fact within 25 hours, his entire premise had changed. We saw his kid wasn't named Cass. Like, it's just bizarre how far it is. Like, did they cast him on purpose for the blow up? Did he manage to lie his way through? It's just really strange to me.
Yeah, he changed. I mean, he did go a little bit slower than Tyler, flipping on Davon and Bailey, but that flip was really fast. I mean, you shouldn't have even said it. If it was a possibility that you were going to do it, you should have just kept that to yourself. You should have just sat there, ate your food, and not said anything, because now your word is trash. No one's going to believe anything that you have to say, and you're going to be targeted. And you're going to be pre-jury, and you're pandering to Twitter, you're pandering to social media, and you're setting that on fire. And then the things, and just the stuff that he's talking about, it's almost like, even, I'm sure he does have a Tennessee accent, but everything seems so overplayed. I'm Frenchie the farmer.
Does he even own another outfit? Has he changed his overalls?
He had a sweatshirt on.
Oh, okay.
Let me go and look.
Because every little screen clipping I was seeing, he's in the same outfit.
Right. French dressing, French fry, French dip, whatever. Yeah. He has one sweatshirt and some shorts. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't have on his overalls. He could have put a sweatshirt over his overalls.
I was just a little surprised he was continuing to wear it. I was just like, is production making you? Are you just trying to play this off?
It's part of the shtick. Like, how many times did Cliff wear his cowboy hat? So, because he was hoping he'd win, like, he wants that persona. So especially because everyone wants to be loved by Feeds, everyone wants the fan favorite if they can't win. So
Exactly.
sips wine, but
But yeah,
oh god,
I feel like he could have just left that alone because it was almost like let me make you guys comfortable and feel safe. And then he turns around. He says he doesn't like the frat boys, but then Derek X talks about how much of a frat boy that he is, and then talks about wanting to make a guys alliance. Hello, frat boy behavior, and he's and who did Derek say that he was afraid of? It was one of the ladies. Was it Hannah?
Is that
Derek,
Sarah, maybe?
It was one of the ladies. He said yesterday that or last night.
oh, I think he was saying something along the lines of Claire and Azza are I can't tell if it's like if it's their like game threats or something along. That's what I got from what I saw on Feeds, but I could be wrong. But I think he was mentioning Claire and Azza.
Well, why is he mentioning Azza? She didn't win. Claire won, but Azza didn't win. You know,
I don't know. Anyone that tries to target Azza is an enemy in my eyes. And Derek X is in my draft. But listen, I'm struggling. I'm not discussing my draft. But yeah. But yes, I don't know what even led up to that conversation or what that one was. I go through the feeds via Twitter, so I haven't seen that conversation yet. But yeah, it's been the whole house has been a mess for this entire week, and it all centers around the fact that the nominations have changed X amount of times. I don't know what the wild card comp was, but it sounds like, I don't know, there was a lot going on within the pack. We didn't have Feeds for a while because of the wild card comp. And then now all of a sudden Christian's safe, but I don't even think Christian needed to be safe for Frenchie's HOH to implode like this. He had other options if he really wanted to go that route.
Exactly. There was really Kyland is really, I have no idea why Kyland is on the block. Absolutely not. And then of course
they know the right Kyland's on the block.
I think both Kyland and Alyssa were confused why they were on the block when they went to go talk to him after.
Yeah.
Well, I know apparently Amber Bead.
Apparently Brittany said that Hannah scares her while she was talking to Frenchie. Hannah can go, in my opinion. Like, I'm going to give her a second chance after this week is reset, but Hannah is also throwing some women under the bus, and
At least she didn't pull a typical girl like Sarah Beth did and go tell the boys that the girls were doing an all-girls alliance.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sarah Beth is on thin ice, too. Both of them. Yes. That's why that Girls Alliance just needs to be Hannah, Claire, Naza, and Tiffany. I don't need anyone else. Yeah. The rest are on thin ice with me. Not just the women, everyone. If you're not in the cookout or Claire, Hannah, or Azza, you're on thin ice with me.
Is Hannah not in the cookout?
She looked like she was on the outskirts.
Cookout alliance is the ones that formed that alliance and named it was Xavier, Derek F, Azza, and Tiffany. And then they've had side conversations with Kyland and Hannah. Kyland, when he was nominated, they were saying that they got him if he was still on the block after veto. But giving a lot of reassurance to the point that I don't think it would have been necessary to do so if they weren't genuine about it. But they were giving him a lot of reassurance that like they all have each other. And I don't know if the cookout specifically was mentioned, but they all want to stick together. And then they had another conversation earlier with Hannah saying that they're we all got each other, but you know, we all need to be doing like our separate things as well. So like no one's going to be upset that Hannah's talking with other people or forming her own side alliances or that Azza's forming her own side alliances, because they all want to stick together and get to the end together. So
Well,
what I'm thinking is that the
plan,
core. What was that?
That's the plan, though, is
Yeah,
that they are a core alliance with branches, kind of like what they tried to do last on All Stars, and then David messed it all up.
It worked for the brigade really well.
So what I'm thinking is that it's the cookout, the core four is the cookout, and but then they have like extra cookout associates with them. So if it were to come down to those six, Kyland and Hannah would probably be the first two to go, unless circumstances have changed.
Right,
but they also,
Kylan and Hannah may not know how to make a good potato salad or the mac and cheese. They probably cook it on the stovetop.
We don't know yet.
So you just can't be sure. So they can come to the cookout, but we're gonna have some questions about your mac and cheese and your potato salad.
But that is why I'd be bringing the wine.
You might get a plate, but we'll see. You're not going on grill or anything like that. We're not trying to that much.
No,
you will get a plate.
And don't come up in here with no Tupperware either. We don't know you like
That is so presumptuous when people show up places with Tupperware.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
To-go boxes will be provided if necessary.
Exactly. Now just wait and see what Auntie says about whether or not you get to take anything.
Auntie will make that decision. Tiffany will be making that decision for you.
Exactly. All right. But I'm so glad nobody is calling her Mama T. The mammification of Black women on these reality shows.
We've had one from Travis. I didn't know. No shocker there. But Derek X did correct Travis about how Tiffany did not want to be called Mama anything. So I don't think that'll be a name that sticks.
Okay, good.
Yeah, which I don't. Yeah, exactly. Everything you said. Yeah, Travis did it, and then sorry for the clarification in the comments. Travis said, "Mama." I can't remember exactly, but yeah, he said "Mama" regarding Tiffany, and then Derek X corrected Travis, saying that Tiffany did not like to. Tiffany did not want to be referred to as Mama. She does not like being called that.
Okay. And for anyone that's wondering why that is, Black women have been historically treated as the caregiver, the mammy, the nanny, the maid, and being called Mama whatever takes away from Black women's their sexuality, their sex appeal. You have made me into a mama off limits, and all I do is I just work and take care of you. And so no one wants to be called that. And so I'm glad. I was a little concerned about whether or not they would do that. And I was like, oh my gosh, please don't do that. But I guess Travis, see, I'm trying, but the bros can go.
Travis is giving me everything I expected him to give me, which is not much that I'm looking forward to. So I'm hoping he is a pre-merge. Or I'm sorry, pre-jury. I can't get over that they don't have a merge here. I've been watching too much Survivor. But
I mean, they are going to merge this time because the teams are going to break up.
Oh my God, they do have a merge.
Yes.
Again, I hate teams. I hate the team twist. I mean, like, it could be interesting, but
I personally also don't understand why they still even do the have-nots. I don't even know who's the have-not 3/4 of the time in the season. We don't see a competition. I don't hear them bitching about the showers or even about the beds. It's irrelevant at this point. Either make it more of a thing or get rid of it.
I miss the food competitions and the luxury competitions. Those were fun.
I wish they would bring those back. Oh my God.
Yeah, like I don't need the wild card competition, but I would love a food competition.
Right. Remember when they used to have the food competition? I'm still in my mind. I still see Danielle and Jason, and they're playing for that food. And and I think they also need to take away the slop and only allow them to just eat like fruit and vegetables.
Well, they used to do peanut butter and jelly, and I feel like it
Supposedly,
has the same effect as slop in that you're very cranky when you've only been eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the whole week. So I feel like that it does the job. It's just not like the slop that they want it to be, like this very terrifying punishment. But I feel like peanut butter and jelly is at least healthier than slop, and it's not like the it's still a punishment, but it's not the worst they could do with the punishment.
supposedly it's actually less nutritional value than the slop for you. So slop's basically just oatmeal.
Right. And
Which
not only
is
that,
fairly
think
healthy for
about
you.
how many people got sick on the last season on the slop, and the you're really, they're already on slop, and now they're not going to be able to physically compete because they're weak from hunger. Because you're
Because
going
they're not eating it.
Yeah, there'd be many a meals that I would miss rather than having that slop, because it's very fiber rich from what I understand. And so, yeah. So you're basically going to dehydrate yourself.
And
I
eat
saw
probably
this video.
condiments.
I saw this video earlier from when they were doing Celebrity Big Brother, where Tamar was asking Ika about what type of what, like, for the advice on what to put in with her slop. And then Ika was saying, well, Ika suggested maple syrup for any future Big Brother players watching this show. But then Ika had said, no, that you guys are celebrities. You don't need slop. And Tamar said, no, I want the full Big Brother experience. And that's how you knew she was going to win, because Tamar Braxton was meant to win Big Brother. I'm just convinced. I would watch her in a regular season if she had the time.
Well,
Yeah.
Tamar is definitely, she's a reality TV. She knows how to play reality TV. She understands what production is trying to do. She understands when they're trying to play her. She knows how to, like, if you think about it, her and Candy were sitting in the, I don't even remember what their room was called. Their little, I called it the iPad room because that's where they had the iPad. And so they were sitting in there and they were like, we don't like each other. We're going to, we work everything out, and then, but we're going to make sure that everybody thinks we still don't like each other, that we're working together. But she said, we can't be seen as working together because then they're going to, target us. And so she knew how to play both production and the other players, and to give, okay, so production wants a little drama. Let me sprinkle a little drama on them, but I'm still playing the game. Not so much drama that it's going to, mess up my game. So Tamar was just perfect.
And you could tell, she said she was a super fan, and you could tell that she was. She had a genuine love for the show, where she brought the entertainment, but she knew how the game worked too. This was not child's play to her. She was going in guns blazing.
And
in a way that
only told them about her power. And she never used it. And so I get upset when people come on and they claim that they're super fans, and yet they don't know, maybe I shouldn't make a mean goodbye message. They don't know to not tell people about your power. They don't know how to, kind of schmooze the jury. And, we may be fans of people like Josh Martinez, but he was a super fan, and you could tell, because he was like, okay, Paul lost last year because no one liked him in season 18. And so he's probably going to lose this year because he's alienating so many people. He's having them do their dirty work, and he's never admitting to it. So he knew all he had to do was just let me admit for Paul everything he's doing, and everyone's going to give me the win. And he was right. And then the exact same thing with Casey. Tyler claimed to be a super fan, and yet Casey knew, okay, so Tyler's doing all this behind the scenes stuff. All I got to do is make the jury like me, period. And I can beat him because he's crossed too many people. He's blindsiding people for no good reason, and he's sending out mean goodbye messages for what?
Yeah.
And so Tamar was definitely a super fan, and she played it like a super fan.
Mhm.
And all these other wannabe claimed to be super fans were not. They were recruits, and
Yeah.
it's
There's
really-
definitely a difference between super fans who are going for the iconic moment,
Mhm.
the ones that they want to be remembered, they want to have the gifs, they want to have remember when they did this savage line in the DR, or they called someone out in the middle of a competition, or just for no good reason, they just wanted to be the villain of the season. And the players that are there, the super fans that are there to win, the ones that you were specifically talking about, that saw the situation and were able to assess, all right, how can I use this as a super fan? I know how a jury works. How am I going to use that to win? And it doesn't always give us the result that people want, but like specifically, you always get outcries about Josh and Casey winning, but like they did do what they needed to do to win, and they knew what they had to do and how to alter a situation to go into their favor as well.
Exactly. Like, for example, with Josh, he made sure that Paul thought everybody hated him. So he made Mark an enemy. He made Elena an enemy. He made what's her name, Alex, an enemy. He made everyone an enemy. But in the goodbye messages, he basically admitted everything that he did to them, and they respected that. And he knew who they were because he paid attention to who they were. Whereas Paul was like, I'm just taking this guy that I've controlled like a puppet the entire year, and that sort of thing. See, Paul didn't know what was going on, whereas, and he had how many weeks did Paul have of safety?
He had 3 weeks safety, I believe.
3 weeks.
It felt like the whole season, though.
Yeah, it did feel like the whole season. But I mean, it's just little things like that. That's a super fan, and you can tell. You can tell that behind the scenes, that strategic mindset, that social game, because at the end of the day, the jury's voting for you. It doesn't matter about your big moves and your iconic blind sides and all that. The jury is going to vote for someone who didn't make them feel bad about themselves, and who didn't make them feel like they were a fool for being kind to you or extending a kindness. Like, for example, Bailey never put Tyler up on the block. She was like, well, I just feel like he got played a little bit by Caitlyn, so I'm not going to put him up on the block. Actually, I like him as a person. And then he turns around and during Angela's HOH, and he's talking trash to her. Why? Just sit there, Tyler, and eat your food. You need Bailey's vote.
I'm so happy you lost. I'm sorry. I'll say it. I'm glad you lost.
But it's just it's little, knowing little things like that. Whereas Casey's like, oh, I'm so sorry. There's nothing I could do, Bailey. I love you. So Bailey gave her vote. Period.
That vote that Tyler said he didn't need.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I agree with everything you're saying. Tying it into this upcoming week, we have Kyland and Alyssa as our official nominees. We'll probably have veto tomorrow, I'm assuming. Or at least, we should probably have veto tomorrow. At the very least, we'll know who's playing in veto tomorrow. Any initial thoughts on that?
I hope one of Alyssa or Kylan win, and then they get pulled off, and we finally get Travis or Brent on the block. So,
do we think Travis or Brent will be the replacement nominees, though? Because I know Frenchie changes his mind all the time, but it sounds like Derek X might be getting the heat for this.
Is Derek X just safe from being nominated, or is he also safe from being replaced as a?
Derek X
he's not safe at all.
Okay, who won the wild card again?
Christian, and he gave the safety to Xavier, so both of them are safe.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. So we have Azah, Brittany, Frenchie, Derek F, Christian, and Xavier that are all safe right now, and everyone else is technically vulnerable, but we could get some really interesting shakeups with the power of veto, depending on who's playing and who ends up winning. I I feel like if Frenchie wins veto, he might be pulling someone down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I just don't understand Frenchie's mindset. I mean, what is he doing? Like it's almost like he's trying to make big iconic moves in or some, of some sort that really don't make any sense. And then when he talks, he pauses. You can tell he doesn't know what he's saying. You know what I mean? He's just, I'm going to talk. Words, 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 words. Pause. Some more words.
I think he's trying to be famous or like get it enough like recognition to get 15 minutes of fame.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That one is just, he's a weird one. He's different.
Yeah. Yes. So it's hard. I want to say, what do we want to do for like predictions for what's upcoming? But I feel like anything could happen at this point because we've gotten like 10 different scenarios about what could possibly happen for this week. So, what just looking at, do you guys have a list of what the teams are yet?
There's the Jokers, Queens, Kings, and what's the fourth one?
Jacks?
It's Jokers, Kings, Queens, and Aces.
Aces.
The Jokers are Frenchie, Azah, Brittany, and Derek F. The Queens are Claire, Kyland, Tiffany, and Travis. The Kings are Christian, Alyssa, Xavier, and Sarah. And the Aces are Hannah, Brent, Whitney, and Derek X. Is there any favorite teams or teams that we want to be safe next week?
Queens.
Oh,
Queens,
yeah.
and then whatever team Derek Frazier is on.
The Jokers.
Yeah.
I want Derek F to be safe as well, but if the Jokers win again, that's another week of Frenchie. So I don't know. I don't know what cost are we getting this win of Derek F being safe.
I'm a little surprised that they went with the names they did of Jokers, Aces, Kings, Queens. And they didn't do like Spades, Clubs, Hearts, Diamonds, because it seems a little weird to name a team the Jokers.
Yeah, like
this team is Jokers outside of Azah, and like Derek F is just Derek F is just funny. So
yeah, I guess
he is a Joker in that way, but the other two just Jokers. But yes, wait, I love this one. Wait, no, not that one. There we go.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
We've canceled the name Jax.
I know.
Big Brother house at this point.
This is we don't discuss Jax anymore. Never again. But then I would love for this to happen.
Yes.
But yes. I would like Kings are having a rough week this week, so maybe the Kings, even at the expense of Christian and Alyssa being safe. I'm just lying. I'm lying. I want that would just mean Xavier. I just want Xavier safe. I guess. Yeah, either Queens or Aces being safe, and I guess I will allow for Travis or Brent a bye week for next week as well. I think when we can make this work. You're correct. Yes, absolutely.
I was a little surprised. Well, not surprised, but I thought it was kind of funny in a ridiculous way when Alyssa was complaining to Christian about the fact she was nominated for the showman's potential. His response was, "It's because we're the two best looking people in the house. People are already shipping us."
Christian. First of all, Christian is not top 3, let alone the number 1. I'm sorry. It just
I just thought it was just so funny in a cringy way.
In the house. Absolutely not. No.
He and Travis have very beady eyes.
Yes.
You would almost I don't know. Something's going on with their eyes. They're really small.
Yeah, I I will put Brent above Christian begrudgingly, but he hasn't done anything to annoy me yet. So I suppose he can be third.
Well, my niece thinks that Brent is pretty good looking because he looks like Johnny Bravo, his hair.
I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I
Joey
see
from
it.
Friends. Yes,
Yeah.
I've heard Joey from Friends as
Yeah.
well. I don't hate the way they picked the teams where you like choose between two people, but the fact that they did like so close to similar archetypes or like similar backgrounds felt very odd to me.
Right.
And I get that was like how they didn't want to do like an all white team or anything like that. But it just feels very odd to me with how they constructed the teams. But I can take like what the teams are right now. I don't know if you guys have any more intelligent thoughts
Well, I like the teams.
over on like how the teams were selected.
Yeah, well, I don't like the team the team concept, but I don't hate the teams themselves.
Yeah.
And what I like is that the black people and the people of color are all spread out, so you can't target all of them at once.
Yes, that is true.
A la BB22 All Stars and just pick them off.
Yeah.
Anyone who wasn't a cool kid, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's between what we had last year and the way the teams were formed this year, I feel like there is a way to the happy medium. There is a happy medium between the two, but we are not there yet. So I guess with this team construction, this is what we have. Do we want to end with like some predictions about like what we want to happen next week? Like what team do we want to be safe or?
Okay, this is what I want to see happen. I want to see if the nominations stay the same and no one uses the veto if it's not Frenchie that wins it and the nom stays the same, then I want to see we're going to have to let Alyssa go. We don't like anyone to get ambered, but it is, that part is out of our control. You can't control someone's misogyny. So Alyssa would have to go. Kylan gets to stay. And then next week, either Kylan or Xavier win. And they're going to put up the two bros against one another. And then if Travis or Christian come down, then put up Brent. And then we'll call it a day. And that would and then that would allow for the entertainment factor to actually happen, because those guys, I think, being put up on the block will bring out will be kind of shocking to their system. And so I think we might have lots of entertainment with that, kind of like what happened with Winston and Brett on the block in BB20, or when Tyler went on the block for 5 seconds and had his virtual meltdown.
That was such a great time in my life. Yes.
Yeah. Who else went on the block and they just could not believe it? They were just, they
were they were mad. They were going to protest the veto ceremony if Davon used it, which he did. And I'm happy that they were pressed.
The one thing I'm worried about is no one has ever got the second HOH as far as I'm aware and gone on to win the game. So whoever I wish to win this HOH, I'm worried that they won't win the game then.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that.
No, this is a year of breaking the curse, because Derek F was the first to walk in the door, and he's going to win. So he's breaking the door curse. And then I'm guessing he's going to win second HOH because he's also going to win too. But Jen, what do you want to happen next?
Well, I'm hoping that preferably Kylan wins the POV and then Travis goes on the block and goes home. And next week we have someone either Xavier, Claire, Tiffany, Derek F, whoever win HOH, then they can put up the remaining bros of Frenchie, Christian, Brent, whoever else is there and eligible to be nominated, and one of them goes home. And we get the meltdown because you already saw how bad Frenchie did at the HOH. Can you imagine him having his meltdown on the block, but at least he gets to see his family?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't even think about putting Redacted on the block because I really, we don't want to talk about him.
I would like to see. I do want a Queens or Aces HOH next because I think people on either of those teams could use a week of safety. So I'm gonna say either a Kyland or a Hannah HOH would be very nice to me. Or if we're putting the week 2 HOH curse into effect, then Travis can win HOH. No, actually, I don't want Travis to win HOH. Derek X can win HOH. How about that? Or Whitney. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I would like a Queens or Aces win. I guess I should go back. I would like what I would really love is for Derek X to win Veto and take off Kyland. But that seems like too specific of a scenario. So I would like in some world where Kyland is off the block. Sorry, Alyssa, but either Alyssa or Travis or some renom that I'm okay with would leave this week. And Aces or Queens HOH would be very nice. And we can actually follow through on some of this women or POC going consecutively. So we'll see. I feel bad that this is how this week is turning out because I don't feel like Alyssa or Kyland did anything to warrant them going on the block. So it feels weird kind of rooting for either of them to go home at this point. However, Christian should be on the block right now. And I'm mad that he won that stupid comp. But even if Xavier's
there was still Brent and Travis. There was 2 more interchangeable.
There was still Brent and Travis, but I'm saying Christian hasn't been doing anything particularly stellar for me to want for him to win the HOH, win that wild card comp, even if he did save Xavier. But I don't believe Xavier would have gone up this week irregardless. So it just seems like he got some extra safety in there. But I do, I think that's what I'm going with. I'd like a Queens or Aces HOH this week and something different happening with this second week. They deserve a calm week where things just kind of fall where they may. So maybe, I don't know, Redacted going would be nice, but that seems like wishful thinking right now. So we'll see.
Can he nominate himself?
Yeah.
But,
there we go.
I mean, maybe you'll ask and they'll just be like, sure.
Penance, doing a bit of penance.
Yes.
Go nom yourself, buddy.
Hey.
You deserve it. Like literally.
You wanted a pawn. You're the perfect pawn.
There you go.
The perfect pawn.
Is going to be a pawn when he asks.
Didn't they try to do that in Big Brother Canada once?
Yeah. The boy.
How did that work? Were they allowed to?
I think it was Phil and Nick, and Phil was trying to do it, and Nick kind of talked him out of it. Or maybe production said it was a no, and they just cut it out from showing us. But they were really in there talking about doing it.
That was so funny to me. Like, why?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Why does production say that someone can't go on the block because they want to go home? I was just thinking that I remember that from last year. Tyler was like, "Yeah, production say I'm not allowed to put myself on the block so I can go home." Yes, you can. It's been done in the past. Are you kidding?
Chris, that scenario is weird, but I think for this HOH and BB Can, they probably didn't want to do it because Canada voted for them to become the HOH. So it'd look really bad if Canada voted for them, then they nominate themselves instead of making a move.
Still, it's just the fact that they let 2 people play as one is already stupid. So I'm sorry. That's the only thing I know about that season. and that they tried to nominate themselves at one point, although apparently they were fibbing. I'm not sure, but also I think with last season it was just Christmas wasn't going to nominate him anyway, and he was using this fact to gain sympathy from referencing the Black Lives Matter movement, and he didn't work because that was an awful thing to do. But
I almost told people, I was like, see, I told you he was going to do that, because I read his little Instagram short answer essay that he wrote about how he was going to make sure that, and he was going to change the future. And I was like, dude, we don't need your virtue signaling. We don't need you to save us. Thank you very much. And so anyway, that was so weird. That was so weird. Like, what kind of person does that? That is some get into therapy. You really need to get into therapy. That was unnecessary. They were minding their business. You went up and found them and brought it up. But anyway.
So I think we are. Oh wait, we were saying one more thing.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think that we need someone that's going to have an HOH that's going to lay it out, kind of almost like, look, let me show you how to do the HOH. This Frenchie got in there and he just was all over the place. This is how you do it. Like a Scotty Salton kind of HOH.
Something to kind of steer things in a direction. Maybe not the right direction, but a direction.
Yeah, Jessica. Yes. Thank you. We are on AGA. Let's act accordingly.
Yeah. Look at Jessica's prototype of a perfect HOH.
Yes. So we want some. You're right though. We need an HOH that will steer the direction of the season. Maybe not the right direction, but then we have plenty of time to kind of correct whatever that is.
Right.
But like right now, we're not really going anywhere. It's just a lot of chaos, and I think the next week we need kind of a reset and to kind of steer things in some direction other than the off-road Mario Kart level track that
we're on Rainbow Road right now.
We're currently on Rainbow Road, and we need like a what's the Mario like Luigi
Luigi Circuit is the one in Double Dash. That's like the first phase.
Luigi Circuit. We need a Luigi Circuit, and we're currently on Rainbow Road. So somewhere, So we just need something to kind of level out where Big Brother is at right now.
Right. And I get that it's a show first before it's anything else. It's entertainment before it's anything else. I get all of that. But I feel like right now we're just having chaos for the sake of chaos, for the sake of ratings. Sorry, my phone is ringing. And my screen just went away. Okay. Just chaos for the sake of chaos. And I think that we just need that, just a little bit of sanity in the HOH room just for a week. So, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Someone is very persistent. I
think we're gonna finish your thought, and then we'll close it out, and you'll be able to. We'll get to the call.
I mean, that was it. It was just, we just need some sanity. We need someone to model how to do an HOH, and then then let the entertainment factor happen outside of the HOH room. The HOH room, go in there, put your people up, and then let them fight it out. Not you being the storyline. You shouldn't be. You're the HOH. You nom the people, and then after the veto, you're done.
This is literally the easiest week to be HOH. You just wait to see who starts a stupid fight with someone who's kind of on the outside of alliances, who's maybe not doing their dishes or something. Just nominate those people, but instead we got the prototype of what not to do.
Exactly.
Yes. I agree with the comment. Can't wait to see where editors go with this mess of a episode or several episodes. But I think this is a good point for us to close out. There's still so much that we don't know yet. I'm very excited to see where the veto competition goes. This has been great. I love this. And I think this was a great overview of what what our thoughts are going into the week. But follow all of us on our lovely social media handles, on our Twitters. You'll hear all my useless thoughts about Big Brother and Survivor South Africa and all the other wonderful shows we're coming up with. And anything else you guys want to plug?
No, I'm not actually tweeting about this yet. I need a week because what I don't want to have to be, because I was one of those people that was, oh yay, Winston, you know, it was not.
At least you didn't publicly in the first week of BB19, as soon as interviews come out, be like, oh, Mattress is fantastic. A week later, I regretted all my words. I deleted all the tweets.
No, that's exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want to have to go scrub my Twitters, you know, clean of anyone. So I'm staying no one other than Azah, because she's a queen, and Tiffany, and Derek Frazier. But even then, I was kind of like, oh, let me see.
Claire seems really good too so far.
Yeah. Well, we just got Claire though.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm reserving my thoughts for later. But please go follow me right now. It's my birthday month, and I am behaving excessively black, and I am going to be just turning up for
turning 30 years old.
Sure. No, I'm turning 48. I'm one of those people that I am proud of my age. We're going to stop. Like, everyone doesn't have to be 20 or 30. These are amazing. So
absolutely. Yes, I can't wait to properly celebrate your birthday when it comes up. But so that's all we have for tonight. But give us a follow, and we will be back next week to talk about whatever chaos is happening then. Bye, everyone.
Bye.